Hello, everyone, and good morning. We're so excited that you are here. As you are jumping on, please say hello and introduce yourselves. I will introduce myself here in just a moment, but as we're popping on today, let me just be the first to welcome you to this incredible event with John. He will be here in the Zoom building in just a few minutes, but want to give all of you a chance to pop on. As you are, please say hello in the comments. Let us know where it is, where in the world you are tuning in from. Something that we know about Maxwell leadership followers and members is that this is a global organization and a global following. I don't think there's anywhere in the world that doesn't want to see positive transformation in leadership and in their communities. And look at all of you, so wonderful. We have hundreds of people signing on now. We've got people from South America, Virginia, Uruguay, oh my gosh, Texas, Colorado, Minneapolis. I'm trying to keep up. You guys are amazing. Everyone here from Nigeria to Wisconsin, South Carolina to Queens, New York, Florida, LA, Sacramento, Melbourne. Oh, everyone, welcome. Please, as you're coming on, say hello, introduce yourself, let us know where in the world it is that you're tuning in from. For me personally, I'm here in Las Vegas, Nevada. So it's 5:02 in the morning. But fun fact about me and my sister, who you'll get to meet here in just a few minutes, we are morning people. We own breakfast and lunch restaurants. So we are all about the early hours of the morning, and it worked out great for us to get to do this. And when John says, I can do it at this time, you say, great, we'll see you there. Please, as you're popping in, we've got hundreds and hundreds of folks here on with us. Say hello, and don't just tell us where it is that you're tuning in from, but please say hello to the person that invited you there. They are on and watching with you as well. None of us give up the opportunity to have a chance to learn from John himself. Heard recently it was said about John that what he did metaphorically is take the leadership cookies and put them on the bottom shelf. And I just think that's such a beautiful metaphor, because leadership everyone deserves to be led well. And it is something that is accessible and learnable by all of us. See everyone popping on here. We've got Art is invited people, Tola, we've got Sandra Yuko invited me from Montreal in the house. Good morning to my friend and brother, Jeff Willie is in the house. Jeff Willie, looks like you've got several fans here. Kelly's got some folks in the house. Kelly Merbler fills our cups is what Ron said. That is so beautiful. Leslie, Michael Pope. Oh, are we going to have my sisters about to join us? Please, everyone, my name is Shyla Morris, and this is my sister, Kay Salerno.
Hello, everyone. Welcome and good morning. Shyla and I are proud to be faculty members of the Maxwell Leadership Organization, and we are so excited for what this morning is going to bring for each and every one of you. John is ready to go. He cannot wait to come and share with you guys, and what an incredible showing to see all of you from all over the world, from all over the country coming in. Hey, Coach Clarissa, good morning from Nevada. I love it. We're coming in from Nevada too, and it's so fun to see everyone. Seeing what Maxwell Leadership member it's decided to invite you is so exciting as well. So we're glad to have you with us, and thank you for joining us today.
Yes, we are delighted. And as Kate mentioned, we have been part of Maxwell Circle for a few years now, way back in 2013. Our mom found John. We were looking for a way to help our restaurant company grow to another level. We had maxed where we were, and we were great. Like, we had these 4 locations of a family breakfast and lunch restaurant, but we were really maxed on the inside. We had no more family to run locations, which meant we actually got into the game of managing and leading others. And turns out we weren't very well equipped to do that. So mom's then 19-year-old daughter said, hey, have you heard of this author? I think that you should check out this book. What's the book that you gave her?
The 21 Indispensable Qualities of a Leader.
And so mom read that book, and in the back of that book, there was an advertisement for joining what was then known as the John Maxwell team. So mom goes, she meets John, she goes to this conference, she starts learning all of this leadership material, and she comes home and we're all like, uh-oh, Mom joined a cult.
She was so different. She was like, man, I understand that this is about culture and it's about people and this is about growth and this is about values. And it was completely transformational for our organizations and for our family and for her as well. She felt like she had found material that supported how her heart always felt, which was to care about people. But John had the back end to back it up, and the research and the review of leadership that really made sense from a heart connection level.
It was beautiful. And as you're just joining on, my name is Shayla Morris. This is my sister, Kay Salerno. We are part of the Maxwell Leadership faculty, and we're excited to kick off here in just a few moments with John. But as you're coming in, if you didn't hear or get the chance to introduce yourself yet, please do so and let us know. We have an extremely global family tuning in from all over the world right now. And we're honored and delighted to be sharing an hour of time with you this morning as John gets ready to give a lesson for you, because part of his Maxwell leadership team, one of his members invited you here today. And so please, if you haven't yet, say hello to that member. They're watching right alongside you. They've got their notebook out right alongside you, and they're ready to begin learning right alongside you, which is what it's all about. And what John teaches us is to lead from that place of being a servant leader, of bringing that into organizations and communities and families and churches and into our own selves, where we deserve to be led well, and we deserve to help others be led well. In a time like this, boy, does the world sure need it.
Well, Shai, what's so incredible about the folks that deserve to be led well is that they are coming in from all over the world. I think I saw India at least 3 or 4 times pop by in this chat. We saw Bahrain come through, Pakistan. You guys are incredible. Sacramento, California, Palm Beach Gardens. You guys are amazing. At California, we're so glad to see you. Kenya just came in the house. Hello, the Philippines, Australia. You know what? This is Nigeria. This is such an international audience. Now let's play this game. It is 5:08 a.m. for us. But what time is it for you? We got to know, what time is it for you and what day is it? Maybe if you're landing on a different day than April 30th, we're so glad to have you guys with us. Now, John will be on in just a moment and we will get this kicked off and ready to go. But you all are amazing, and getting to connect with you here in this space is wonderful. You know, one of the things that we love about John is that he really seems to bring together people of all nationalities, of all kinds of faiths, of all walks of life to come together over leadership material that really ends up being, I think, the cornerstone and I want to say the hearthstone, right? Like the place where we can all gather around and have that something in common.
Well, it certainly became the hearthstone of our family business. To kind of wrap up the story we were sharing with you, when we were Max, we were at the 4 locations. Then we found John and we found his teachings, and we've been able to grow our company. Now we've got 9 locations, a franchising company, a professional CEO in place, and 200 employees that rave about the culture and the leadership in our business. It made a massive and transformative difference in our business. And you might not be a restaurant family, and you might not be interested in growing leaders or any other organization of people that follow you, but all of us have to be leaders to ourselves, which is why we know this content becomes so valuable and so approachable for so many of us. It does look like we've got at least John in the building, and so we're excited to kick off in just a few moments. But good morning, Mr. Maxwell. We're so glad to see you.
How are 2 of my very favorite people today?
Better now that we see you, Papa John. Look at you.
Nice to see both of you too. Thanks for having me on. How have you been? Everybody okay?
Everyone's doing fantastic. We've got about 550 people from literally every corner of the planet: Pakistan, India, South Africa, Australia, and we are coming in from everywhere today, Mr. Maxwell.
How wonderful to have each one of them with us today. And they were all invited by a Maxwell leadership person, correct?
Absolutely. Yep. Everyone who's in the Zoom today only is here because they received a special invite from a Maxwell Leadership Team member. And so we've seen you calling out those who invited you in the comments, and we're so honored that they chose to invite you to this special session with their mentor that they've been certified by, Mr. John Maxwell, the #1 leadership expert in the world, a prolific author and a dear friend to so many of us. And John, we're excited to let you kick off the lesson. We don't want to bogart your mic. We know you've got a great teaching for us today. Is there anything else you need from us, or are you ready to kick off with these folks?
I am so anxious and ready to teach. Thanks for giving me the opportunity, and thanks for all of you joining today. So I'm ready to rock and roll if you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. We'll come back at the end. In the meantime, they're all yours, John.
Thank you so very much. I'm delighted to be with you, and honored that you would join us. And all of our Maxwell certified trainers, I'm just so I'm so grateful for you, because we pour into you and we do our best to develop you to be great leaders. And the very fact that you brought people with you today on this time together is, well, it just speaks of who you are and how you want to make a difference and add value to people. If you were to sit down with me, let's just say you and I, a private conversation, just two of us, and you would say, John, talk to me about your success in life. Um, how did you get to where you are today? I would look at you and I would say, well, there are many factors, obviously, but there are two main contributors to my success. And one is my passion for personal growth and development. I know without any question that the books I write and the speeches I make around the world, it's all because every day I grow. I am passionate about growing because I had a mentor when I was in my 20s basically say the only way you're going to grow is to be intentional and do it on purpose. You can't grow accidentally. You can grow older, but you can't grow better. Growing older, that's just filling the days. Growing better, no, you got to be intentional on that. And so I developed a personal growth plan in my 20s that I still have today. And that our trainers, our coaches in our Maxwell team, they've been schooled in personal growth and personal development. So personal growth and development, and I'm still growing and learning today and expanding my world. So that would be number one. And the second, if you say, okay, well, what was your second reason for success? I would have to tell you without any question, it's the people who came into my life and mentored me and helped me. I could name dozens and dozens of people, some coming for just a very short season in my life. Some have been with me ever since I started my personal growth. I have a wonderful friend. I affectionately call him E.T., and he's 90 years old. And I will, this weekend, I will be with him. I'll go see him. And he's mentored me since I was, since I was 25. And so I've had mentors for life. I've had mentors for a season. But what I know is my success today is directly attributed to the fact that people came in my life and they made a positive difference for me. And so I'm very excited about this because I want to talk to you about mentoring, because this is, my life was changed because of the mentors that have come into my life. I mentor others. I mentor all of our Maxwell Leadership Certified trainers. I mentor them, and they mentor, oh my gosh, they mentor literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people around the world. And they have a passion, I'm sure, to mentor you and to come into your life. So let's talk about mentoring. And the question that we have is how do we develop a mentoring mindset? How do we develop a mindset? A mindset, let me explain to you what that is. A mindset is a disposition. It's an intention. It's a way of thinking. How do we develop an intentional way of thinking that causes us to want to be mentored by others and gives us a passion to want to mentor others? This is really huge. I happen to have one of my mentors was very well known, Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker was the greatest management guru expert of the last century. And I had the privilege of sitting at his feet. And I'll never forget the last time we were together, he challenged me and he said, John, who are you mentoring? Who are you developing that can carry on the principles and the values that you love, embrace, and live out in your life? And he just challenged me again to make sure that I filled my life with mentoring. He challenged me in such a way is that I after that, I bought a painting, and it's in my office today, my home office. And wherever I move, that painting goes with me. So it's been with me for a long, long time. And it's an incredible painting. It's not like a beautiful painting. It's not like an expensive painting, but it's a picture of an older brother with a younger brother right beside him. And he's teaching the younger brother how to draw. There you see the painting right before your eyes. And the reason you can see that painting is because I'm in Andrew's studio, and Andrew's absolutely the best. And I gave him that, and he put it up there for us. But can you see the older brother is doing the drawing, but look at the younger brother so intently watching. Now, here's what I know. The older brother gets great joy out of showing his younger brother how to draw. But that younger brother, he's going to draw faster and better than he would have if he wouldn't have had an older brother, a mentor, to come into his life and come alongside of him and help him. You know, Malcolm Gladwell is a wonderful author and a terrific friend. And in his book, The Turning Point, he has a phrase he calls the law of the few. And the law of the few, he says, is very simple. It's the leverage that a leader can have in his or her life by investing in a few people. In other words, basically, he says there's an amazing return. There's an amazing return when you begin to pour your life and invest your life in just a few people. And I love that. And that's exactly how I started it off in my life, just in a little country church, just investing in a few people. And I began to see the return that happens when leaders invest in other people. So what people say about me today is John Maxwell adds value to leaders, and what happens when I add value to leaders? They multiply value to others. And so I'm so excited to share with you a little bit about mentoring and the mindset. And again, all of you that are Maxwell certified team members, thank you. You made this possible for everyone to hear me today. Without you, I wouldn't be here. They wouldn't be here. But let me just say, the person that invited you to be part of this teaching right now, they did so because they value you. And they have a real passion to invest in you and to mentor you and to take you to a higher level than you can go if you just do it by yourself. Remember this, one is too small of a number to achieve greatness. It just is. If you want to achieve greatness, you have to do it with others. So let's talk about mentoring. And one of the things I teach in mentoring is that the word mentor is both a verb, it's something you do, and it's a noun. It's something you are. So when we think of mentoring today, think of the fact, this is what I do and this is who I am. And you don't separate the behavior, what you do, with the characteristics and the qualities and the values of a person. This is who I am. This is what I do. And in mentoring, you get the spirit of the person, who they are, and you get the teaching of the person by watching what they do. So here we go. A mentoring mindset has several characteristics. Number one, a mentoring mindset has a passion for growth. The only guarantee that you and I are going to have a better tomorrow is that we're growing today. So when I talk to them about their future, they say, well, I really hope things really work out well. And I look at them and I say, hope's not a strategy. The only guarantee that John Maxwell has that next month will be better than this month is that I'm growing this month. And again, going back to one of my early mentors, Kurt Kampmeyer, when we were having breakfast that day, and he looked at me and he said, John, I just want you to know, I want you to understand that growth is not an accident. You need to grow. And when I did that, I said, I've got to get a growth plan, and I've got to get a mentor. I've got to get somebody that's further down the road than I am that can take me to a whole new level. And so I heard Earl Nightingale say one day that if I would spend 1 hour a day, 1 hour on the same subject for 5 years, 1 hour every day, same subject for 5 years, that I could become an expert on that subject. And I was passionate in my 20s about leadership. So I said, I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend 1 hour every day on the subject of leadership for 5 years. And my thought, because I was just in my 20s, I was a little naive. My thought was, in 5 years, Earl Nightingale says I'll become an expert. So wow, here I'm on my way to becoming a leadership expert. So every day, an hour every day, 5 years, every day, I'm reading about leadership. I'm talking to leaders. I'm asking questions. I'm practicing leadership every day. And I had this idea because Earl Nightingale said 5 years I could become an expert. So I said, okay, I've got 5 years here. And so I literally started I had a countdown. Okay, wow, I finished year 1. I've only got 4 years left before I'm an expert. Wow, I finished year 2, 3 years. And, how long will it take? Well, how long will it take? Well, how long will it take? Well, 5 years. How long will it take? And then something happened just about in the middle of that 5-year period. And the beautiful thing that happened in my life was I was beginning to change. Because I was learning leadership, practicing leadership, meeting leaders, getting in leadership environments, and having opportunities to lead. About halfway into this 5-year journey, I realized I was a better leader, and that I was growing and people were following me and my leadership was expanding, and I began to be incredibly overjoyed and fulfilled. And I thought, look at me. Wow, I'm becoming a leader. It was that day I quit asking the question, how long will it take? It was that day I changed, because now I was beginning to grow. That's the result of being mentored. You learn and you grow, and all of a sudden you're better. And I quit asking, how long will it take? And I started asking, how far can I go? How far can I go? No longer was I on a 5-year plan to be an expert on leadership. Now I'm on a life plan to become an expert in leadership. And by the way, those 5 years have passed several times now in my life, and 50 years, 10 5-year plans later, 50 years later, I'm still asking the question, how far can I go? How far can I go? I'm not even there. I'm not yet to the finish line. This is huge. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. You don't want to miss this. You really, really don't. A mentoring mindset just has a passion to learn and grow and expand. And I had one of my other mentors, and you'll hear me talk all throughout this lesson about mentors of mine, because honestly, you cannot achieve what I'm talking about without a mentor. You got to have somebody walk in your life and say, let's do this together. Let me show you the way. I had another mentor of mine one time when we were talking about growth, and he said, let me define growth to you, John. And here I am ready for some big definition on growth. And he just looked at me, he smiled, and he said, growth is happiness. It's happiness. He said, you show me a happy, fulfilled person, and I'll show you a person that's growing. They're learning. They're expanding. They're still stretching toward that finish line. I remember I was mentoring a young man named Courtney McBath. It was my first time with him, really. And my first time whenever I mentor somebody is when I try to gauge how passionate they are to learn and grow. Because honestly, I could either spend time with people or invest time with people. When you spend time with people, you're taking time with people who really are intentional and passionate about growth. When you invest time with people, now you're talking about people that really want to grow and make a difference. But I like Courtney a lot, and we had a really good mentoring session, and so about, I don't know, maybe 2 months later, he called me on the phone. He lived in a different state. And he said, John, he said, you really helped me with my last mentoring session. And he said, I would like to have a little time with you again, but before you say yes, now notice how he valued my time. He said, before you say yes to mentoring me another time, let me just talk to you about the last session. When we were together on the last session, this is what you said, and this is what I heard, and let me tell you, this is what I learned, and this is what I did, and did I do it right? And then may I ask you some more questions? Well, I said, of course you could ask me some more questions. Look at the return that Courtney was getting. He had such a passion for growth. This is what you said. This is what I heard. This is what I learned. This is what I did. Did I do it right? Can I ask you some more questions? Of course. To this day, this is 25, 30 years later, I still occasionally mentor Courtney McMath. Why? Because he has a passion to grow. He has a passion to learn. You see, the best gift that you can give a mentor is that you grow. The reward that I have, and I've had the privilege of mentoring so many people today, when I look at the Maxwell certified leadership certified people on my team, I get so happy because I watch in a few years how much they have grown, how further along they are, how they built their business, how they built their career. There's no amount of money I could ever receive that could ever bring me the return and reward as just watching them grow. I love to watch people grow. My coaches, they love to watch people. They love to grow. They want to help you grow. Okay. A mentor mindset number 2 is where you continually desire to add value to other people. I often say to my team, you're either a river or a reservoir. Now, a river, the water that comes to it just flows right through and goes down through the valleys, and it brings water and replenishment to the soil, and it just travels and blesses the land. Why? Because it's going to where the need is. A reservoir, it's all dammed up. Nobody got help today by the reservoir because it holds water. It doesn't let water flow. And when I talk about desiring to add value to people, I'm reminded again of Napoleon Hill said, the starting point of all achievement is desire. And what I found is that progress, your growth and my growth, your progress today, one of the things I want to make sure you understand is your progress has a price point. And what I mean by that is when people stop growing and making progress, it's not because they lack capacity. It's not because they lack talent or ability. It's because they lack desire. They're unwilling to pay the price to go to the next level, because this is just a fact. You have to give up to go up. If you watch somebody climbing a mountain, as they climb the mountain, they're not collecting things and adding more weight to their climb. No. They're taking as few essentials as possible because the climb is hard. And sometimes to get a little higher, you got to give something up. You've got to give up to go up. And I can remember when talking about a desire, a passion, a hunger to add value to other people. I can remember, 20 years ago now, maybe 25. I can remember very well when my personal success, the success that I was enjoying, the joy of seeing other people become successful began to be higher than my own personal success. I mean, I had spent a lot of years being highly successful and been there, done that. And then all of a sudden I realized I get more joy out of your success than my success. One of the reasons I started this incredible coaching company, the reason that we began our Maxwell Leadership Certification Program is because I just literally got excited, really excited about your personal growth and your personal development and where you were on your journey. And again, with, I don't know, 40 some thousand coaches in 172 countries of the world, my greatest joy is when one of our coaches is making a difference with someone else. So somebody asked me recently, because I just turned 75, they said, John, what is your greatest accomplishment now that you've turned 75? And I thought about it. Was it writing books? I write books. I'm writing a book right now that I'm very excited about. In fact, I've written almost 100 books, I guess, and 36 million of them have been sold. In fact, they now say I've written more leadership material than any person's ever lived in the history of the world. But if somebody said, is writing books, is that your greatest accomplishment? I'd say, well, it was a pretty big accomplishment, but it wasn't my greatest. Well, how about speaking? I mean, you speak around the world. I've spoken over 13,000 times. Yeah, that's big, but no, that's not my biggest accomplishment. But how about all your honors and recognitions? Well, those are nice, but no, that's not my biggest. And how about the fact you're a founder of 7 companies? Well, that's good. Yeah, but that's not my biggest accomplishment. Well, how about money? You made a lot of money. Yeah, that helps. But no. You see, my biggest accomplishment is mentoring people and adding value to people just like you. My biggest accomplishment is having Maxwell certified trainers that literally, I mean, I mentor them and then they mentor people like you. And all of a sudden my mentoring explodes and expands. And this is my greatest joy in adding value to people like you. Again, I already know what I can do, but now I'm having a journey of my life watching what my certified trainers can do and what they accomplish through their mentoring too. So a mentoring mindset is one that continually desires to add value to people. A mentoring mindset has a passion for personal growth and development. Number 3, if you have a mentoring mindset experiences personal success in the area that they mentor others. Don't miss this. If I mentor you, I should only mentor you in what I do exceptionally well. There are many things I don't mentor anybody in at all. When people say, would you be my mentor for life? I said, no, you don't need me to be a mentor for life. Now, if you want to mentor for leadership, if you want to mentor for success, if you want to mentor for speaking and communicating, if you want to mentor to help you learn how to write, hey, I'm your guy. Or in this case, all of my Maxwell certified trainers and people, they're your person, because we're really good at this. And so you mentor people in the area of their success. When I equip people, there are 5 steps to equipping them. And the first step is I do it. And I tell those, if you're going to equip people in your organization, your company, on your team to do something, the first thing you need to do before you teach someone else and equip them is to do it yourself. And not only do it yourself, but to do it very well. Like reproduces like. There are 5 things in our passion and our mission in our company that we're really good at. We call it CLEAR, CLEAR. We're really good at communication. We're really good at leadership. We're really good at equipping. We're really good at attitude. We're really good at relationships. That's a huge lane that we work in and coach and mentor. Because what we know and what we've discovered is people do what people see. Stanford research says 90% of everything that you and I know in life, we saw it visually first. Wow, 90%. So it's very important for you to be mentored by a coach that does it. Is there something beautiful when that coach or that mentor says, here, follow me, watch me, let me show you how this is done. You see, example is essential in mentoring. We have a wonderful expression in our Maxwell enterprise that says everyone deserves to be led well. I love that expression. In fact, I'm most leadership sad when I see countries, companies, organizations, teams that aren't led well. I look at it and say, how sad. They could live a much better life. They could live a much higher life, but they're not led well. So in our Maxwell Enterprise companies, we work very hard on helping our people know how to lead well, because you deserve it. If you're going to have a mentor, if you're going to learn leadership, if you're going to learn how to speak, write, all these things are important to success in your life. If you deserve somebody that really does it and knows how to do it, that you deserve to be led well. Everybody deserves that. And trust me, example is the core of leading well, because again, people do what people see. Okay, let's just review quickly. A mentoring mindset has a passion for growth. A mentoring mindset continually desires to add value to others. A mentoring mindset, a way of thinking, experiences personal success in the areas that they mentor others. Let's go to number 4. If you have a great mentoring mindset, okay, what you do is you pass on success through proximity and consistency. Both of those are so important. You see, there is a catching part of mentorship, but I don't want you to miss it. You see, who you learn from is as important as what you learn. My father taught me this at a very young age. He taught me about the fact that you're not only seeking information and knowledge on how to do something well, but you're seeking an attitude and a spirit that can be passed on to you by that person that mentors you. You see, the catching part, the teaching part is quite objective. The catching part is quite subjective. But as I look at the mentors that I have had in my life, I've had wonderful mentors who taught me what they knew, and it really helped me. But as important as teaching me what they knew, there was the catching part of who they were that built within me the spirit of greatness. You see, there's the mind of greatness of what we know, but there's the spirit of greatness based on who we are. And that is based on proximity and consistency to somebody coaching you and teaching you, and you can see them and listen to them and ask questions and watch them and catch that spirit from them. One of my well-known mentors was John Wooden, who was in America, in the United States, was a very famous basketball coach. In fact, he was named the most successful coach of the 20th century. Very successful, had a college basketball team that won 10 national championships, great teacher. I had the privilege of having him as a mentor, okay? I'll never forget the first time that I went out to see him in Los Angeles. We had literally spent a day of him pouring into me, and it was so rich and so rewarding. He lived in a condo, and so I went out of his condo in an elevator that took me down to a parking garage, and visitors didn't park in the parking garage, they parked outside. So I went through the gate, walked to the gate, and I'm walking now outside parking lot toward my car. I get to my car, just get ready to open the car door, and I just intuitively felt that I needed to turn around. And when I turned around, I looked back at where Coach Wooden lived on that second floor of that condo. And there he was. He stood on the balcony and he was watching me. And when I turned to look at him, he flashed a big smile and a wave. He just waved to me. I'll never forget that. I got in that car and I just said, I caught something. I caught the spirit of a man who's highly successful, who desperately wants me to be successful. I caught who he was. That was the day as I drove away that I realized big people make you feel bigger. There's a feeling that, they accomplish great things. And guess what? I can accomplish great things too. I just thought that was absolutely huge in my life. I'll never forget it. I'm very grateful because it taught me as a mentor of others to not only, it's not what only I say, but it's who I am, and it's my attitude, it's my spirit, it's my kindness, it's my humility, it's my character, all those things. That's the contagious spirit that you want to. So you catch a contagious mentorship successful attitude until one day it's yours, and you say, wow, I'm not only changing mentally in what I know, I'm changing internally. I'm being transformed. I'm becoming a new person. This is huge in mentoring. Not only what did they teach me, but what did I catch from them that just was such an incredible, beautiful attitude. My father, who passed away at the age of 98, he was the president of a university. And he was a great president, and the university grew greatly under him, and the students loved him because every day during breaks, he would walk out on the campus and he would talk to the students and call them by name and ask them how they were doing. And his attitude and spirit was contagious. And these kids, they just grew, they graduated from the university as champions. They were champions. Now, for many, many years after he was no longer the president of the university, he moved to Florida, maybe about 1,000 miles away from the university. But on a weekly basis, these kids from the school that they graduated from, they would come to Winter Haven, Florida, and they would call ahead, and they'd make an appointment to see my dad. And even when my dad was up in his 90s, they would come to see him and kind of maybe come to encourage him. And they all told me the same thing. I went to encourage your dad and I left encouraged. It's that spirit. It's that contagiousness of a mentor that I'm talking about. We really work hard with our, Maxwell certified coaches, trainers, to make sure that they have that spirit, that attitude within them that is contagious with people like you when they pour into and mentor them. The fifth kind of mindset and quality of a person that does well in this area is that they possess the quality of humility. They really do. Humility is essential because it makes a person teachable. So whenever you run into somebody that's been successful and they kind of say, well, been there, done that, you can almost mark it that they lack humility, that they've stopped learning, they've stopped growing, they've stopped asking questions, they've lost that hunger. Wow. In life, when you're successful, there begins to become a gap between the successful person and other people. And what I teach my coaches is you got to close that gap. If you want fans, you widen that gap. You're here and they're way down here. But if you want friends, you just close that gap. And how do you close that gap? You close it by caring, and you close it by being open and transparent. I don't think people want a perfect leader. I think they want an authentic leader. So you close that gap by walking into people's lives and talking not only about your successes, but talking about your failures. We've taught all of our Maxwell Leadership certified trainers. We've taught all of them to be honest about their journey and about their losses and their misses and their failures, because I've had some, they've had, we all have some. In fact, I would just say to you, if you're being mentored by somebody that I've mentored, they're going to tell you that you keep success and failure together. You don't separate them. Now, our culture and our world separates them. They say, be successful, don't fail. Succeed over there. Oh my gosh, don't fail. Do it right. Don't miss it. And we separate success and failure. Success and failure were never meant to be separated. They were meant to be kept together continually. You need them always side by side, because success makes failure better and failure makes success better. Let me explain. If you're succeeding really well, you're on a momentum success roll, you need to keep failure real close, because failure will keep you humble, and you'll not become arrogant in your wins, and you won't become delusional in the fact that it's always going to be this way. So with success, you need to keep failure close by, because it gives you humility. And by the way, if you're failing a lot and you're in the ditch, you need to keep success right beside you, because when you're not feeling good and you're not doing well, if you keep success attached to your failure, it will give you resiliency. And resiliency and humility are two essential qualities in life that you really want to have. And humility, oh my gosh, once you have humility in your mentoring with your people, once you speak about your losses and your failures, you just breathe encouragement into people, because now all of a sudden there's not this gap between the mentor and the mentee, and success and a person not yet achieved that success. We now bring them together, and we close that gap. I was just speaking last weekend to 15,000 people in Las Vegas at the Thomas Mack Arena. And I was talking to them about mentoring, and I was talking to them about adding value to people and coming alongside of people and possessing a spirit of humility. And as I was teaching them, I taught them about keep failure and success together. And there was such an incredible response. And the response was the fact that we all of a sudden made the mentors human. We all of a sudden let everyone become self-aware that we're not there yet. I'm on a journey. I'm not arrived. I'm not at the top of the mountain. I'm not there resting, looking down at all of you, waiting for you to come. No, I'm still climbing myself. A mentoring mindset. Let me just give you a couple other things just quickly before I wrap this up and turn it back to our lovely ladies. If you have a mentoring mindset, you value capacity and you encourage capacity. You see, we judge ourselves by what we see as our potential, but we judge others by their performance. In other words, I judge myself about what I think I can do, but I judge you by what you really do. And mentors, good mentors, they close the gap between potential and performance. They work really hard on closing that gap. And one of the things they do really well is they teach the 100% principle. I learned this from my mentor, John Wooden, who was that coach at UCLA. During basketball practice, he'd see some of his players not giving 100%. And so he'd look at them and he would say to them, I know you look a little tired today. Yeah, coach, I'm a little tired. I stayed up late studying for an exam, or, I'm a little down. My girlfriend broke up with me, whatever. And he said, you're probably not giving me 100% today. No, coach, I'm probably giving you 80%. And then coach would tell them, I know what you're thinking. You think I'll give 80% today, and then tomorrow I'll work real hard. I'll give you 120% tomorrow, make up. And he said, I just want you to know, first of all, the most you can ever give is 100%. You can't give 101%. There's no such thing. You can only give all you can give. Okay? I had another wonderful billionaire friend of mine who said, all you can give is all you can give, but all that you can give is enough. And Coach Wooden was helping these players. He said, I know you're giving me 80% tomorrow, and you think you can give me 120%, or 80% today. I know you think you can give me 120% tomorrow. He said, that's not true. You can only give me 100% tomorrow. So if you only give me 80% today, you lost 20. You never get it back. It's just lost. He said, I just want you to understand that. What was he doing? He was trying to help their potential and their performance come a little bit closer together. I wrote a book called No Limits. And I love that book because it's about how to reach your potential. And I basically say you reach your potential through three things. Awareness, you have to be aware, self-aware. You cannot grow yourself if you don't know yourself. So awareness, giftedness, and choices. If you can do all three of those, you can then begin to reach capacity and hit that great potential that you have. One more thing as I wrap up. A mentoring mindset begins the process with what I call upfront expectations, okay? If somebody said, what's the key to effectively mentoring people? It would be, let's upfront have the expectations that we need. I had another mentor, Charles Blair. Do you see how many times in this lesson I referred to mentors in my life? Well, I had this mentor, and then there was this mentor over here. Look at me for a moment. Where I am today is because a lot of mentors helped me. I would not be near where I am if I wouldn't have allowed other people to come into my life and say, hey, I'm ready to sit at your feet. I'm ready to walk with you. I'm ready to learn from you. Teach me, show me, help me, take me to another level. On these upfront expectations, I had a mentor named Charles Blair in Denver, Colorado, and it is one of his favorite phrases was, have an understanding so there's not a misunderstanding. And it just said, just upfront, just have an understanding. So on upfront expectations, if I was sitting down to mentor you, I would have what I call we expectations. And we expectations is simple, very simple. I expect if I mentor you to get a return on my investment, and you should expect if I mentor you for you to get a return on your investment. In other words, a mentoring relationship doesn't work unless both people win. You win because I teach you things and take you places you've never been before. I win because you grow and develop, and it's incredibly fulfilling to me. Those are upfront we expectations. And then there are you expectations. These are the expectations I expect of you. I expect you to be ready. When we mentor each other, I expect you to come absolutely ready. I expect you to improve. I don't want you just to learn things. I want you to improve your life. I want to see growth in your life. I expect you to earn my time. Go back to the Courtney McBath illustration. When he said, hey, our first time, this is what you said, this is what I heard, this is what I learned, this is what I did I do it right? Can I ask? See, what was Courtney doing? He was earning my time. He was showing me that he was going to give me a return on my time. So that's what I expect from you. And by the way, you should have expectations from me also. And my expectations would be that I'll give you my best. You know, I'll look out. I not only will give you my best, but I will look out for your very best interest. I want to mentor a life, not just teach a lesson. And by the way, the Maxwell Leadership Certified team, that's exactly where they are. All they want to do is help you grow. They just want to help you get better. They just want to know that they had a little part in your life of the success that you have right now. That's all. That's the fulfillment. That's the joy that we get. So I wrap this up by just saying very simply, if I needed mentors to get me to where I am today, I'm just guessing, but I think my guess is pretty accurate. I'm just guessing you do too. I'm just guessing that if you had somebody speak into your life now and teach you and and just put you on some very simple little leadership growth plan, that you would grow a lot bigger and better than you could ever do on your own. So I really hope those who invited you to be part of this teaching, they did so because they care for you. So I really hopes that every one of you, not some of you, every one of you will get right back to that person who invited you and say, let's get together. Let's get a game plan. Come on, I need you, and you probably need me. So let's do it together. I believe that that's what's going to happen. And by the way, you should say that to the person that invited you into this program today. You should say that to them today. Do it now. So many times we say, well, I think that's a good idea. I intend to do that in the future. Remember, good intentions are worthless. Only good action. So act today. You know, I don't know. Email them, call them. I don't know. Go see them. I don't know how you're going to contact them, but however you're going to contact them, say let's go do something together, and let's go make a difference together. And by the way, when you do that, you'll make me a happy old man. So thanks so much for your time, and it's always good to see you too. And thanks for helping us. And you just do such a nice job representing us. So thanks a lot.
Thank you, John. And what an incredible teaching. And I know you can't see the hundreds and hundreds that are on with us and the thousands who will be watching the replay, but on behalf of them, we will give the ovation. The comments are flying by. People are just touched. They're thanking the folks who brought them here. They're thanking you. They're feeling so filled up. I know I've got pages of notes. I always have pages of notes from you. And John, when you have team members like this who are certified to teach your curriculum that you've spent decades working towards and putting together, a curriculum like the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, how meaningful is it for you to be able to see that curriculum be delivered around the world by these certified members?
First of all, it's very humbling. It's very humbling. I mean, I look and say, why am I so fortunate? I mean, there are a lot of better people, obviously, than me in this life. Why would I be so blessed? And it's kind of like you have children and then you have grandchildren, and and it's, I'm a grandparent. I have 5 grandchildren, and there's something, you love your children, then you look and you say, you get your grandchildren. Oh my gosh, I had no idea. And so I've got a lot of children and got a lot of grandchildren around the world. And the reason I'm doing what I'm doing today is because I want to see people really experience success in their life. And that's the only reason I'm in the game. I don't need the money. I just want to see that. I want to see the people on this call take action, and I want to see our coaches mentor them, and I want to see them get better. And I want to meet them in a conference in Orlando down the road and shake their hand and have them say, I was on that mentoring call, and here I am, and look what's happening to me, and look what I'm doing. That's the fulfillment and the reward that I get.
Well, John, we can't thank you enough for your time early here in the morning. Thank you so much for being with us. Like Shyla said, the comments are going off with gratitude for the value that you added to all of the leaders that are here today. So thank you so much, Mr. Maxwell. We're very, very grateful for you.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Well, as John is signing off, we hope that you'll put your biggest takeaway in the comments over here. Make sure that you say thank you to the person who invited you. I know we really felt there were so many great lessons here. You've got to give up to get up. As long as we're growing, we're feeling happiness. I just reminding us of some of those core tenets of leadership training. And John, is that #1 leadership expert in the world. He advises the Pope. He advises presidents of countries. He's got a waiting list. His speaker fee is pretty impressive, and he's built that brick by brick, step by step, learning lessons the easy way, the hard way, the innovative way, the curious way, the crazy way, over those decades of experience. And when you find someone like that who says, I've had dozens of mentors, and this is the success that I've reached. You don't need to look around and recreate the wheel. This is what he says works, and we all know it works too. And that's why whoever invited you here today is so passionate about getting you into something like this, because growth equals happiness. John told us that today. And so being able to engage in activities and relationships that help us grow only increase our happiness and our ability to help others.
Well, folks who are Maxwell Leadership Certified are steeped in this kind of information, in these teachings, like John mentioned, from the live events in Orlando, Florida, to getting to hear from John on a monthly basis inside the program. And you got invited here this morning for a reason, by a leader in your life. And as two people who have been gifted to be personally mentored by John, we know the power that that mentorship can bring forward. And the person who invited you today wants to extend that gift of growth, which, as Shyla mentioned, is really the gift of life happiness, right? As long as we're growing, we're remaining happy, that they want to gift that to you as well. So if it's an email, if it's a text, if it's a call, whatever it is, even if it's just a thank you, we encourage you to reach back to the person who invited you today. This was a special session with John Maxwell. He created this curriculum today just for you, just for this 1 hour, and he pulled from the things that he already has, but he worked it for this, and we're so grateful that he gave the time, and we're so grateful for all of you Maxwell Leadership Certified coaches who are here, and to the people that you brought on.
Right. I'm seeing some of these biggest takeaways talking about mentorship is the key to success, that key piece of attitude. We've heard John say before, right? Like attitude's it's not the only thing. It's just the most important thing to your success, right? Growth is the gift. We've got Claudia saying we need to do it together. That's my biggest takeaway. So many just wonderful things of people being able to say, look, it's easy. You might have heard early on when we were first signing on, we recently heard someone make the analogy that John took the leadership cookies and put them on the bottom shelf. And I'm so glad he did. One, because I love cookies.
Well, come on, they're delicious.
And two, because everyone deserves to be led well. And all of us have the capability to develop the skill of leadership. And that's what John is all about. And it's what he spent his life dedicated to helping others, including the others that invited you here. And so our ask for you today is simply to follow up with the person who invited you, even if it's just a thank you. And hopefully it's a thank you, and I need to know more about how we can work in some kind of capacity. Let's do curriculum like the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, aka happiness, right? That's what John just told us today. The key to happiness is growth. Let's talk about what a coaching relationship would look like. What kinds of things can we do together so that I can get on an intentional growth plan, so that you can be my John Wooden, so that you can be my John Maxwell, so that someone around you who cares about you, who knows you, who wants to see you succeed is helping you do that in a structured way. So we hope that you feel it from their hearts, from our hearts, and most of all from John's heart, this true passion to add value to your life and help you multiply that value to others.
Well, we hope that this start to the day was as good for all of you as it was for us. It may have been early, but it was worth it. So worth it. And we're so grateful that you all joined us here today. Thank you so much for being on. Remember, touch back on the person who invited you, because they brought you here today to grow for a reason. There was something in here that was just for you, that was meant for you. You wouldn't be here at whatever time of day it is for you. You wouldn't be here if there was not a message meant for you. So reach back to the person who invited you today. Thank you so much for giving what we consider to be your most precious gift, which is your time with us. And we hope that we see you again soon here in the Maxwell Leadership family.
Have a beautiful and wonderful day. And thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.